Welcome back to Talking All Day with Tay. We're talking all day is my specialty. Hi guys, welcome back for another week of Talking All Day with Tay. I hope you guys are doing well like usual, and I hope that you guys are ready for this week's podcast episode. I also wanted to remind you guys that you can listen to my podcast on all podcast platforms. Let's get a clap for that. Yes, we got the clapping. Period. So in this week's episode of Talking All Day with Tay, we are going to be diving into my watch again list on Netflix. I thought this would be kind of creative since when you think about it, the watch again list is things that you've already seen. And since they're all there, I can just go straight to it and tell you all my recommendations because they're all there and I've seen them like a lot of times. So this is not the only type of show/movie recommendations that we're going to go over. We're also going to go over in future podcast episodes my Hulu recommendations or YouTubers that inspire me in the future. So stay tuned for those. And by the way, make sure that you guys give me 5 stars. I need 5 stars to make sure that my podcast boosts up and gets more views. So if you guys can leave a comment or 5 stars on all the platforms where you get your podcasts, that would be really appreciated. Also, make sure you follow the Instagram Talking All Day with Tay so you can be updated on future stuff, that you can participate in polls that I have on there. So if you want any questions answered, because I'm definitely going to do an AMA again in different podcast videos. So I hope you enjoy it and make sure that you follow. Enjoy the family because we want you here. You're welcomed. Period. So make sure you guys do that. Now, on to the podcast episode. Okay, so I see on my list that I have a good recommendation, which is Tiny Pretty Things. This came out, I believe, last year or the year before. I'm thinking that it came out last year. Let me actually check the date. Whoa, time goes by fast. That came out in 2020, so it was 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And now we're in 2022, so wow. Doesn't feel like it, I still am thinking we're in 2021 and mentally, but also mentally I'm thinking that we're going into a new year and we got to get ready for it as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So, Tiny Little Things. I'm going to read the description so you can get what the show on Netflix is describing what it's about, and I'm going to tell you my point of view of what I think it was about. Okay, so the description says, Nevaeh, June, and Betty's undercover sting to catch a predator goes sideways. Mixing business with pleasure puts Madam's ring at risk. Ooh, a little bit of tea and a little bit of a risk. Okay, I see how it is. I'm sorry, guys. I play around too much. But basically, yes, that's what it is. It's this girl, Nevaeh. She basically goes to this art school of dance. And she's trying to get used to a new environment. She has to pay to get in. And it's really hard to get in because it's a lot of rich kids. And it's very eventful. There ends up being this murder that happens and everyone's trying to see who did it. So if you really are into crime and investigating and drama, it's a lot of drama too, then I think this would be the perfect show for you. That's personally what I live for. I love crime. I'm a crime junkie. I like a lot of documentaries. We're going to go over one documentary that's on my watch again list, but this show was really good. If I would give it a rating, I would get it at 8 out of 10. It was really good. I'm waiting on season 2 because it would explain so much as to how the ending happened. But I definitely will give it an 8 out of 10. it was worth it. It was worth the watch. And I think it's like 10 episodes on this season. Yeah, it's 10 episodes and it's so good. Oh my goodness. So I would definitely rate that a 8 out of 10, and I think you guys should definitely check that one out. I actually decided that we're going to do all the crime first, and then we're going to do some upbeat stuff, just because I don't want to switch from crime, it's dark murder, to happy romance. I think that's so weird. So it's just weird to me, so we're going to do it that way. The next thing that's on my watch later is the crime scene, the Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Now, I'm going to read the description of what Netflix says the show is about. The once grandest Cecil Hotel provides a nightmarish backdrop from the disappearance of Elisa Lamb. Her final footage in an elevator triggers a viral hunt. Also, when I'm reading these crime ones, if you aren't really into that and you're not really ready to see like a corpse or like crime scene, and it kind of bothers you and affects you in a negative way, then I would suggest not looking at it. But if you are a crime junkie and are just interested in different stuff like that, I would recommend this. One of my friends actually recommended this particular documentary for me. And this came out in 2021, so it came out last year. And it basically, if you haven't heard, is talking about the Cecil Hotel. There was a vanishing of this girl, and it was very eventful as well. She was supposed to be staying at the Cecil Hotel. She heard that it was really nice, that it was luxurious and stuff. And she was always a blogger. So she would blog on Twitter and like post and different things. And they eventually did not find her. A lot of her family was looking for her. And then it ended up being in a sad resort because they found her when she was dead, and they found her at the hotel. The big thing is, how in the world did it take them a long period of time to not notice anything, or notice why this person didn't check out of the hotel, and what happened to her, who did it? And the only footage that they have of her is from the elevator. And it's really interesting because many people think different things about the elevator scene. It's like this, I believe, 7 to 9 minute clip of her in the elevator, and it's also like it's weird. It opens up and then it closes, and everyone has different views on it, saying I think it was just her unconscious, or they think it was someone leading her out of the elevator. It's very interesting, and you get to hear from people that specialize with this type of crime, and doctors and all that stuff, and the way she dies is also coming to play. It's just really interesting. So I would definitely recommend that if you love documentaries and if they intrigue you. It's kind of weird saying it out loud because it's like, I love crime. Like, I do not wish for anyone to get hurt or anything. That's not why I love crime. I think it's very interesting because there's so many cases where you see the person that's doing the stuff, like the bad person that's like murdering or like harming people, and you kind of know how to, like, what to expect from somebody if they have those motives, in a sense. Like, there's another one that I'm going to tell you guys about where it's like this picture perfect family, and it ends up being where the husband murders the family. Like, you may be curious, how did that happen? What signs could I have read to be able to avoid myself from the situation? That's what I like about it. I just kind of like the both sides, hearing the logic and then coming up with a conclusion in my head before they tell me how it happened. It's kind of like just a mystery. So I'm really intrigued by that. Not saying it's good. It's really sad and depressing, actually, but I do like looking at these types of shows and documentaries. But for this, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, I would give this one a 7 out of 10. It was really good.